Hey everyone. So I've been working on modding for the Beatles rock band for about 2 years now, and even though I haven't worked on a lot for the last year or so, I still have a few video clips of unfinished songs and other random projects that were uploaded on my Streamable account, and I thought it would be fun to show off and explain some of them. Sadly, a lot of my work won't be represented in this video since all of the files and videos have been lost, but my hope is that some of these will be mildly interesting, or at least kind of funny to look at. To start off, I wanted to just go over the Hey Bulldog custom outfit set that I did. There's already a video of this on my channel, but I figured I would go in depth and explain all of the little details and things that I did for this. So for John's outfit, it's the same 68 studio outfit, except I replaced his 68 hair model with a combination of the rooftop sideburns and the Revolver era, either Revolver 01 or Budokan hair model. This kind of recreates the look he had in early 1968 around when they were recording this song. For Paul, I also kept his 68 outfit mostly intact. The only thing that I changed about him was I gave him different shoes because his 68 outfit has these kind of goofy looking like purple cloth sort of shoes, and I wanted him to have the black ones that he has in the Hey Bulldog music video, so I stole those from the walrus outfit. George and Ringo actually have the most going on, as you can probably tell. For George, I gave him his Revolver era hair as well. I changed the texture of his shirt to be all white, and I gave him all black pants. And for Ringo, I gave him the yellow submarine shirt because that's the only shirt he has in this game that has a dangly sort of necktie, except I had to modify the textures a little bit, and I gave him black pants as well. I also removed his mustache. I also did a kind of pointless little thing with the headphones. In the music video, John doesn't wear headphones when he's sitting at the piano, he only wears them when he's standing at the microphone. And similarly, when the Beatles are going crazy and dancing around the studio, I didn't think it would be a good idea for them to have headphones on during that either, since the cords could get all tangled, somebody could trip, it'd just really be a bad time. So what I did was I wrote some code to basically detect what the Beatles are doing at any given point and determine whether their headphones are showing or not, depending on what action they're performing. So when John is at the piano, he doesn't have the headphones on, and when the Beatles are dancing around, they don't have headphones on. But when they're standing at the microphone or playing their instruments, they do have them on. Something really interesting that I discovered when I was writing that headphone code is that during these crazy dancing shots, it's actually usually Ringo who's the focus of the shot dancing around, which I think is really interesting because usually he's sat behind his drum kit the entire time, and I had no idea that he was the one dancing around during these shots. I just think that's kind of funny. Speaking of Ringo, here's a video of a full band of Ringos performing Your Mother Should Know. One experiment I did with code that I thought was really neat was essentially locking a free-floating camera to the position of one of the Beatles' eyes. And what this does is it basically makes Beatles Rock Band FPS mode, like you're in VR or something. And I just wanted to try this out because I thought it would be really interesting to see the game world from the perspective of the characters, and a sort of unintentional side effect of that is it creates this oddly immersive looking music video where you're like playing guitar across the mic from John Lennon or behind Ringo's drum kit on the rooftop concert. I just think it's really, really neat to look at. I also discovered that zooming the free cam out really far has strange side effects on certain green screens. So for example, in Come Together, I decided to lock the camera on George, zoom all the way out, and it creates this really trippy diamond texture thing in the background, and the post-processing effects play with it and make it look really cool. I don't know, I just thought it was really neat to look at. This FPS mode, I think, works to really great effect during the end because the Beatles all sort of lock their heads to different guitars and points in the world during the solos portion. And I just think it's really, really cool to look at. Like, if you lock to George, for example, you can see him looking down at his fretboard while he's playing. It's just so, so neat to me. Also, piano jump scare. Using the FPS mode during live performances with step in and step out events also shows how they work really well, and I think it's really neat to be able to see John sort of moving around the stage in real time during the song, because in normal gameplay, these movements are usually masked by the camera moving around so much. In this clip, I was originally wanting to make a full Dreamscape recreation of the Tally Hall Good Day music video. I didn't end up doing that, however, I did recreate this sort of intro portion where they're standing on the television screen singing at the camera. Now, the game does have some close-up singing camera shots, but I discovered that all of these shots have sort of a zoom in, zoom out effect going on in them, so they didn't really work for what I wanted to do. So what I did instead was I used the free camera again, and I would teleport it between each of the Beatles' faces. This way, the camera doesn't zoom in or out during the song, which basically fixed that problem. I also created this sort of black and white with selective color effect by actually setting all of the Beatles' skin and hair colors to be black and white versions that I created myself using Photoshop. I definitely don't think I'm ever going to make a full version of this one. That being said, I think that this little section here looks pretty neat visually. I think I recorded this video shortly after I discovered how to move things around in space within the game world. So naturally, I used that to make John spin around really, really fast on the hillside. Also, yes, I was making a number 9 dreamscape, but it's not happening anymore. This is an effect I also was going to use for number 9 dream. This is the light bokeh green screen that's used in Through the Bathroom Window and Maxwell's Silver Hammer. Normally that green screen has these sort of circular lights floating around, but what I did was I hijacked the particle system object that controls those lights, and I just updated the texture to one of John's name. I was going to use this for the whispered lines before the choruses in the song where a woman's voice whispers John's name. It's a little on the nose, I know, but I thought it was cool at the time. At one point, I tried to use my number 9 dream custom as a showcase of all of the scene triggers in the game, and that was going pretty well up until I got to Pepperland and the submarine venues. It starts out okay, but then the Beatles ascend into the sky and they just never come back. And then the bandstand never comes back either. And I was thinking, okay, well, we're gonna go to Yellow Submarine and they're gonna be back, it's gonna be fine. But no, the Beatles were completely eradicated from this plane of existence. They're absolutely nowhere to be found. I don't know why this happens, but it's kind of fucking horrifying, so here's some of that. In this custom, I basically recreated the All Things Must Pass album cover with, you know, the black and white in the field and George just, you know, chilling in the chair. Originally, I was thinking of doing this as a sort of teaser for a My Sweet Lord custom, but that idea never came to fruition. I actually ended up making a few custom outfits, as well as a bunch of lip sync and slide guitar animations for My Sweet Lord. Here you can see a custom outfit based off of the concert for Bangladesh that George did, where he did perform My Sweet Lord live. I also did all these different versions of the slide guitar solo at the very beginning of the song. I also used this custom to test out if giving body animations that belong to extras to the Beatles would work for the effects of like the Beatles dancing or like clapping their hands or whatever. And this is what happens. This is one of the background dancers that I believe is unused for one of the green screens. So this is George trying to do that background dancers dancing animation. It didn't work, if you can't tell. I also did a lot of testing with lip sync animation using this song. As you can see here, multiple stages of trying to get it looking nice. This video is actually also available on my channel already, the full version, but I wanted to explain some of the nuances of it. This video tests off using happiness values. The Beatles have certain ranges of like smiliness that they can go through even while they're singing. So this video tests going from a value of like 0 added happiness to like, let's say like 80 added happiness maybe. I don't remember the details, but that's basically what I was testing in this one. I also tested lip sync a lot using Across the Universe. So here's some various stages of that. It looks a little bit rougher, and in both of these lip sync animations there's no eyebrow movement, so it doesn't look very lively. That's about all I had to show today. I know this came out sort of short, but this is really all I could find on my Streamable. If I find anything else I have, I might make another one of these. I've also been considering making more videos talking about TBRB technical stuff in general. I'm thinking of making a video on all of the little random oddities and mistakes that exist in some harmonics songs that I've meticulously observed over the years. If you guys have any feedback, or if you're interested in those ideas, or just, you know, want to let me know anything in general, please do leave a comment. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all later.